Hello gentlemen, I am Stanislav and I am on my journey to build community of the men who live by timeless values, such as integrity, discipline, respect, responsibility, courage, humility, service, honor, so we can bring the greater impact to the modern world. In today's video, I would love to speak with you regarding few habits that quietly make men look weaker. Let's begin. Talking too much. How to avoid talking too much in conversations? You want to keep in mind two things. Number one, remember, if people want to say something, they are going to signal in some way. So if somebody is trying to get the floor, that's a signal that you should wrap up what you're saying. If you see someone raising their finger, trying to interrupt, or maybe leaning forward, slow down what you're saying, give the brief conclusion, and let the other person speak. And number two, don't start with the long version of whatever you're trying to say. Start with the short version. If there's interest, then tell them more. So if somebody asks you a question, talk for about 15-20 seconds, give the abbreviated answer of what you're trying to say. And if they're interested, give them a longer version of your story. Over-apologizing. If you apologize constantly, even when it's not your fault, you're not alone. Many people apologize as a way of smooth out perceived conflict, but here's the truth. Your worth isn't tied to how well you appease others. Because over-apologizing is a bad habit we can actually unlearn. Most of the time, saying sorry becomes an automatic reaction, and it's lead to pretty bad effects. First of all, it undermines our confidence and influence. Also, by doing that, we lower our own self-esteem. But you can try to change this habit by noticing when you say sorry and using different expressions. For example, thank you, okay, or maybe just don't say anything. Silence sometimes is the best way to handle the conversation. Needing validation. In the early days of human history, acceptance by the tribe was absolutely necessary to stay alive. But in today's world, we don't need the people validation in order to survive. Regardless of what society wants us to believe, remember, self-worth is more important. When someone is sensitive to opinion others, they may engage in activities in reality they don't even like. This may be listening to certain music, using substances, or even supporting certain political or religious views, just so environment approves them. Sure, by doing this, we become part of that environment, but we aren't being authentic. Because at the end of the day, a person who lives authentically and isn't controlled by what others think gains more respect than someone whose goal is only to appease. When you learn self-validation, we show the world that we have worth. We begin to trust ourselves and our own judgments. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "To be yourself in the world that constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." Poor posture and body language. Your posture is the loudest form of your body language. Posture in our modern society is pretty bad. We sit in our chair all day long, we have the habit of looking down at our phones, but posture becomes so normal, but it's really bad for us. Your posture is a foundation in every movement of your body makes. It determines how well your body adapts to the stress. For example, carrying heavy weights, sitting in awkward position, or experience gravity, what we experience in our daily life. If your posture isn't optimal, your muscles have to work harder to keep you upright. Some muscles become tight and the other inflexible. Researchers have even linked poor posture to scoliosis, tension headaches, and back pain, which is absolutely understandable. and it can influence your emotional state as well as sensitivity to the pain. So there's a lot of reasons to aim for good posture. What does the good posture look like? First, imagine you have string going through your spine all the way from your hips to your head, pulling you straight up. Try to avoid things that invite bad posture. Adjust your environment in order that your screens are located on the same level with your face. And here's the small habit. Every time you walk through the door frame, readjust your posture. Every doorway is a reminder you're walking in a new room, so walk in with the presence. Being glued to your phone. This addiction is one of the biggest epidemics in today's world. We know that engagement with social media and our phones release dopamine. That's why getting text feels so good. That's why we are check our likes. That's why we are go back 10 times to the post we made an hour ago. Now we have an entire generation with instant access to this addictive numbing chemical through the social media. And the biggest issue, we waste the most important things we have, our potential and our time, which will never return. We must embrace the habit of being comfortable without our phones. When you're not glued to your screen, you're more likely noticing something interesting, start conversation with the strangers, help someone if needed. And there's nothing wrong with being alone with your thoughts for a little while. In fact, I think we've forgotten how valuable those moments are. Those moments of stillness can be medicine for our mental health. At the end of the day, all those things, talking too much, apologizing for anything, needing validation, bad posture, being glued to your phone, they are come from the same place. A lack of presence, a lack of awareness, a lack of confidence in who we are. But the good news, every one of those habits can be changed. You don't need to fix your whole life in one day. Just start with paying attention, slow down a little, stand a little bit straighter, speak a little bit shorter, say thank you instead of sorry, and spend a few minutes or hours less in your phone. Small things, but small things done consistently build character. Because at the end, a modern gentleman isn't defined by perfection. He is defined by awareness, discipline, and intention. And the more intentional you are, the more respect you earn from others and from yourself. It was such a pleasure to share my thoughts with you regarding this subject. Please drop comments below if you have your own thoughts of the habits that make men look weaker in today's world. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.